Alright, so before I start the news for this video, I want to say there is going to be a channel update coming out after this video. So, of course, there'll be this news video, and there will be the channel update. So, Cleveland has got their first victory in 635 days. Alright, no, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not dreaming. We're all not dead. Cleveland Browns have won their first game, and to be honest, I'm glad they actually took out Tyrod and put in Baker, even though Tyrod didn't go on his own terms. He had a concussion when he went down, and so Baker Mayfield stepped in, and we finally got to see what the boy from Oklahoma can do. And it turns out he led them to a victory to the point to where Sam Darnold and the Jets could not recover. So, I'm going to break down the game for you, and of course, I've not done any sports news really, but we'll just go over the game and how it played out, and how exactly I feel about the game. So, let's go through it. So, basically, going into the game, especially in the first quarter, no one scored. So, obviously, you had the Jets, you had the Browns going back and forth, Tyrod Taylor throwing some things, Sam Darnold, he's in there as well, and he's throwing it back and forth, and of course, no one scores. But then, second half comes along, and then the Jets got 2 touchdowns on the Browns. So, the Jets were able to get some free room, and they were able to move into the end zone. So, and of course, the Browns were losing by then. But then, 2 minutes until the halftime came up, Tyrod Taylor got sacked, but he went down hard, and he took a concussion. And so, Tyrod Taylor was out of the game because he had a concussion. Of course, he had to go through concussion protocol, and they don't want to risk anything in the NFL. So then, the Browns said, you know what, let's let Baker Mayfield play. So Baker Mayfield starts playing, and boy, did he impress. He led him to a field goal before the halftime, which is pretty good. I mean, at first, a lot of people wouldn't think they wouldn't even score anything against the Jets. And it did. And then here comes the second half. And I'm going to say this now, they pulled in Alabama. So if you don't watch college football, it was Alabama and Georgia playing in the national championship. Alabama had in Jalen Hurts, and they weren't really doing well. Alabama was trailing by pretty much like 4 touchdowns. And then they took out Hurts and put in Tua, and as soon as he started playing, Alabama not only came back from that loss, but they also scored an extra touchdown to where Georgia could not come back from that. That's literally what happened with Cleveland. Cleveland threw in Baker Mayfield. Next thing you know, they take the lead, and then the Jets, I think it's in the fourth quarter. Let's skip all the way to the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter comes in, and the Jets, they get in position to kick a field goal, and they make it. Then the Browns, they want to make their play, and they want to say, do they want to go for the field goal to tie it up and possibly lose, or do they want to put this nail in the coffin and say, no, we're winning this game. We're winning it right now. Next thing you know, they go for a touchdown, and the Browns put themselves in position to where the Jets could not catch up. Next thing you know, the Jets, Sam Darnold throws a pick 6. And ladies and gentlemen, Cleveland Browns, that's how they won it. And the happier part about that is that the fans weren't really happy at the fact that Cleveland won. They were probably more happy at the fact that they had their own beer cases that were locked, and if they won, those would come open, and they came open. Next thing you know, everyone was going wild. Not because Cleveland won, no, ladies and gentlemen. They got hyped up because they got their Bud Light. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they believe in the dilly-dilly. So, my thing about that is, what is my whole take on the game? My take on this whole thing is, for one, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. If you can't tell, fly Eagles fly. Caw! Anyways, I've been a Philly fan since 2011, 2012. I guess when I really got into football. And Philly was really an underdog team. They really didn't win much in 2013, 2014, and they even won like 2 NFL championships, even though they weren't necessarily the Super Bowl. And so they won the championship there, but they never won Super Bowl. And then here comes 2016, and we get Doug Peterson. And it's like, okay, things are starting to turn around, and the next thing you know, we get Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz's first season, and instead of going that like 4-14, we went 8-8 that first season. Second season, we won a Super Bowl. And even when Carson's out, we had Nick Foles, a guy who is probably going to quit football. Next thing you know, he comes in playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Next thing you know, boom, helps us win a championship. And so, my thing on this is, the Browns obviously winning their first game is pretty good. And the thing is, now they have a chance to run for the Super Bowl because they've only lost like 1 game. And so even though they've tied up another game, they have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl if they play as much as they do. The only thing is, they now have to compete with the Bengals and Baltimore. And I think the Ravens were the one that won that game. If not, it was Cincinnati. But if it was Cincinnati, it is going to be the Battle of Ohio, probably for the playoff spot. And, of course, the Steelers are probably going to get in, or unless the Ravens do something crazy like they did in 2013, where they did win the Super Bowl. So it was pretty crazy to see how the Ravens beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who the Pittsburgh Steelers were usually the team to make it into the playoffs. And, of course, they made it into this one, but they didn't get far because they lost to, guess who? The Jaguars. And that's another team I literally got shocked when I saw how much they were coming back. So, of course, the Jaguars, last time they got in was 2009, and they were the newest team to the National Football League. And then last year was the first time they've actually been winning, because all the other times they were like the Browns, they were trash. And so, in 2017, they got all the way into the AFC Division Championship, and that was when they lost to New England. Now, of course, New England lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. And so, my thing on the Browns is they have a chance to make it to the playoffs, and they have a chance to be like the Buffalo Bills last year, where they have a chance to make it to the playoffs. The only thing is, are they going to do it? Now, my whole thing is, are they going to do it? Maybe. But, I mean, as much as last night goes, I'm not predicting anything else for the Browns as far as winning goes. Now, as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go, I mean, we got Carson Wentz back. We're going to be playing Indianapolis right now. In Indianapolis, they played Washington, and Washington's not the greatest team out there, so I wouldn't say Indianapolis got a good win from there. But I think they played Pittsburgh their first game, and I think they lost. So I really ain't saying much. Oh, no, they played the Texans, yeah. They lost to the Texans, but they beat the Redskins. So now Philadelphia has to go play Indianapolis, and there goes that. But all I'm going to say is congratulations to Cleveland for winning your first game in 635 days against the Jets, who aren't really known for being a great team. And the last time the Browns won, they played the Chargers, and they lost to the Chargers. No, they beat the Chargers. So, I mean, the Chargers, not the greatest team out there. Jets, not even close to being the great team out there. But anyways, that's my whole thing. But I'll say it's a win and a win, so can't really say much about that. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up today's news episode. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, make sure you leave a like. And if you are new, make sure you subscribe. And until next time, I'm Andrew Michael, and I'll see you guys next time. Thumbs up.